Hello everyone and welcome to another very nice game from the match Jan-Krzysztof Duda versus Arjun Erigaisi from the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour finals. We've already shown the first game of the match and it was a very nice one. If you remember, Duda just sacrificed a knight for fun and then it kind of worked out. The second game where Arjun had the white pieces ended in a draw, and now this is game 3 where they repeat the line from game 1, only as you've seen from the thumbnail, the game takes a most unexpected turn. So let's dive straight into it. Duda with the white pieces opens with c4. So we have a repetition from game 1, pawn to c6, the Caro-Kann to the English, knight f3, we have pawn to d5, g3, and in game 1 g6 was played, but here we have d captures on c4. This is sort of an offbeat line, still not the main continuation. Bishop to g2 and now knight to f6. We have castles and pawn to b5. So nicely defending your pawns here. But of course white will challenge that. Pawn to a4 now goes after the b5 pawn. You want to make your light square bishop even more powerful. Bishop to b7 and now pawn to d3. And here Arjun just captured, c captures on d3. I will mention, however, that this position has been reached in the 2015 World Rapid Championship in a game between Tigran Levonovich Petrosyan and Viswanathan Anand. Anand played b4 in this position and he won the game. I'm just, gonna put that out there. But okay, c captures on d3. Knight to e5 now, opening up your light square bishop. You can also recapture on d3 with the knight. And the way Arjun should continue this game is b captures on a4, and after knight captures here, just play e6, play something like bishop e7, castle, and get your king to safety as soon as possible. However, after Duda's knight to e5, Arjun played queen to c8, and his position is now just lost. Incredible as it is, it's only move 8, but feel free to pause the video and win this game for Duda while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on figuring out it's the move from the thumbnail, but even bigger congratulations to those of you who figure out you have to capture on b5 first. So that's the way to do it. Congratulations if you've spotted this. If you play queen to b3 right away, you go after f7, just e6, and nothing is happening here. If you capture on b5 now, then just captures on e2, and black is definitely defending here. However, after a captures on b5, there's really no good way to meet this move. So c captures on b5 was played, and now queen to b3 we enter the position from the thumbnail. And yes, this is only move 10, and there's really nothing black can do. The problem is if you try to defend the f7 pawn, then queen captures on b5 with check, and you lose the bishop on b7 and you resign. It's really nothing to do here. Like knight b to d7, you can capture on b7, and okay, if rook b8, you can just trade. Bishop captures, rook captures on b5, captures on d7, knight captures on d3, and you're just up a full knight. So not gonna happen. So after queen to b3, Arjun said, all right, I have to go for bishop captures on g2, queen captures on f7 with check, king to d8, and now king captures on g2. D captures on e2. Black does have some counterplay, going after the rook on f1, rook to e1, and now knight to c6. And you have to decide how to continue this game. Of course, you want to develop your knight and bishop, but if you try something like bishop to f4, which seems like a good move, it's very easy for black to just trade off everything. Captures, queen b7 check, and after we move the king, queen to d5, attacks the bishop, attacks the queen, and you have to trade queens here. After captures, rook captures on e2. It's okay, white is a little bit better, but nothing spectacular. So instead, after knight to c6, Duda goes back, knight to f3, better to keep the tension. Queen to b7 now with some very nasty discoveries in mind if the knights move, but just rook to a3 by Duda with some ideas of rook to d3 check. So knight to e5, guarding d3 and also putting more pressure on this f3 pawn, and now queen to e6. Luckily, the rook also guards the f3 pawn, but now your knight is hanging and there just isn't a good way for you to deal with this. Even if you play b4, and I know you guys are interested in what happens if b4, then rook to d3 with check, or even rook to e3 goes after the knight. First you have to win the d3 square, then black will have to capture, and then you will again win the d3 square for your rook. So here Arjun does it right away. Rook captures on knight captures on f3, rook captures on f3, and now queen to e4. He wants to trade queens, but now queen to a6. and there's really no good way to defend the b5 pawn. Whatever you do, the b5 pawn is going to fall, but it's not so much about the b5 pawn. Once you capture on b5, you again gain control over the d3 square, and okay, for the moment the rook can't move, but the queen can't really remain here forever. Knight is coming to c3, the queen will be kicked away. So what could you do here? Could you play some b4 moves here, like going after the c3 square? Not really, because the queen from a6, and also one of the reasons why queen to a6 is so spectacular, now attacks the e2 pawn. So if you open up this diagonal by playing b4 to stop knight to c3, then rook captures on e2 and you lose this e2 pawn. Without the e2 pawn, there's really no point in playing this game. So another thing you could do is, let's say you play queen to c4. You could also maybe try this, defend the b5 pawn this way, then knight to a3 attacks the queen and the b5 pawn, so you're going to win the b5 pawn once again. And if you play queen to a4, then you can just play rook to d3 check, because you won the d3 square. Now let's say queen to c6 check picks up the rook here, and Arjun can just resign. So it's a very, very delicate position. Arjun plays rook to c8. He has to try something, but now a very nice queen captures on b5. Now the d3 square is available to the rook once the queen moves from this diagonal. Pawn to e6, getting ready to develop the dark square bishop, but now Duda also takes this moment to develop his dark square bishop. So bishop g5, bishop to e7, and now finally knight to c3 attacks the black queen. Queen to c6, still keeping an eye on this diagonal, and now queen captures on e2, eliminating this beautiful passed pawn. And remarkable as it is, we are now in a situation where the material is completely equal. But of course, Arjun's king is not feeling very happy there on d8. We have knight to d7, offering a trade of bishops, because, well, for the moment the e6 pawn is hanging, but also your bishop on g5 is hanging. So here Arjun was hoping for captures, and then the king and the queen are guarding the e6 pawn. But after knight to d7, Duda just plays knight to e4, and after pawn to h6, just rook to c1, as the bishop also covers the c1 square. So here Duda wants to trade. Queen to a8, we have rook captures on c8, queen captures, and now the spectacular knight to d6. And it was in this position on move 26 that Arjun Erigaisi resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. So really, really spectacular stuff here from Duda, winning both games in this line. Arjun didn't really find a way how to deal with all the mess Duda can create. Here he resigned because the queen is hanging. The bishop, of course, cannot capture because it's pinned. And once you move the queen, you can just trade. Knight to f7 check, forks the king and the rook. And once you move the king, even bishop captures on e7 is instant resigns from black. You can't do anything. If you capture the bishop, you lose the rook. You don't really have a good square for the rook. If you move the rook to g8, then we just move the bishop. We just won a free piece on e7. So however you play this, white will just be up too much material, and there's no point in continuing this. But yeah, very nicely done by Duda. He wins both of his games with the white pieces, both of his games with the draw piece, with the black pieces ended in a draw. So he wins the match against Arjun Erigaisi 3-1. A very nice start for Duda. And I've received a message, or maybe someone sent it in the comments. I don't really remember that, saying that I don't pronounce it properly. It's not Jan-Krzysztof, it's Jan-Krzysztof Duda. So if that is truly the case, send me like a confirmation on email or something like that. Like the best thing for you to do if you want to improve my pronunciation of certain players' names is to just send me an email with the actual audio, so I can hear how you pronounce it if you're a native speaker. But yeah, I believe it's not Jan-Krzysztof, it's Jan-Krzysztof. So if that is the case, I don't mind pronouncing it properly. Just give me like, yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely done by Jan-Krzysztof Duda. Truly spectacular chess being played here. I mean, how do you even imagine a position like this being on the board on move 10? Like this is move 10. I mean, absolutely spectacular. So yeah, and once again, really hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Jonathan Bradley, Christopher, Norris Mokosoft, Mikel Arboy, and Fernando Gibson for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour finals until it finishes. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.